Well, now, sit back for the most eventful match of an eventful tournament. In the Lenin Stadium, Moscow, the main site of the 1980 Olympic Games, it's Spain against the Soviet Union.
Spain, understandably, retained the side which did so well against Bulgaria in their quarter-final. They've got better and better throughout the competition after only drawing 0-0 in their opening match against Saudi Arabia. One player who's caught my eye, the number 9, Gué, who plays for the Real Madrid junior club Castilla. As for the Soviet Union, from the side which beat China in their quarter-final, they bring back Gorilyi into the defence in place of Ketashvili. Bubliauskas is dropped, and Ivanauskas, a scorer in that earlier 5-0 win over Canada, gets a place in the starting lineup.
Ethiopia.
So the World Youth Championship finally arrives in the capital of the Soviet Union, and Kushlev arrives in the Spain penalty area, and he struck the underside of the bar straight from the kickoff. And that is quite extraordinary, because Oleg Kushlev was the player who scored the only goal of the quarter-final against China, and he did that in the game's very first minute. Well, it was inside the game's first 10 seconds there, and if that's a taste of things to come, there really is a semi-final in prospect. Skliarov tackled by Gué. And a corner to the Soviet Union, who very nearly got off to the sharpest flyer, really, of all time in this sort of competition. Underside of the bar, but clearly bounced out from Kushlev. Goal kick given this time. Tatarchuk, the player who had the last touch. Goalkeeper Unthu not taking the goal kicks, but it's a poor one from Tirado. And a feature of the play from the Soviet Union has been their direct running with the ball. We've said that every time we've seen them, and Medved, who's very much in that mould, bursting forward down the left then, and it's another corner. And Spain at the moment absolutely penned in their own penalty area. And they try to push out now. And Ivanauskas heads over. Valdas Ivanauskas. Rather conscious of blocking off Ivanauskas' run after the ball had gone. And Fernando in the wars. The early signs that, although there is plenty of good technique and skill amongst these young players, is that this could be a bit of a battle as well. The prize, of course, a big one. Nobody remembers the losers in semi-finals. Finding it taken from him by Skliarov. And Gué went down, caught by Tatarchuk. It's a real test of Spain's mental strength. That was out by Fernando, the captain. But Spain facing the host nation. At the stadium that became world famous. If you leave out the United States, I suppose, who tried to turn their back on the 1980 Olympic Games. This a real sporting stage, and a great experience for these youngsters to be given the opportunity to play here. The competition also playing a major part in the development of young players and the maintaining and increasing of standards of play at full international level certainly comes from competitions like this. Losada's back heel. Gué is well forward, and Spain have the corner this time. They seem to have come through those early stormy seas. Clearly the corner is going to be swung away from the goal by the right back Pardo, but not very well. But here's Gay and Fernando. Sat up rather invitingly for Spain's captain. He was leaning back when he struck it. Kutupov, the Soviet goalkeeper, who really kept his side in the competition in the last minute against China in the quarter-final. The save that protected the one-goal lead given to them by that early goal, Kushlev, we were talking about at the start of this match. Thu has had his rather doubtful moments in the tournament. He's made some fine saves as well. The goalkeeper who has signed for Osasuna. No emotion on the Soviet bench. Juanma, rather outnumbered. And here's Ivanauskas. Kept in by Ferreira. And Skliarov for the Soviet Union. Kolotovkin. And the captain, Soso Chedia. Plenty of movement from the Soviet players. Ivanauskas has really taken up a beat wide on their right-hand side. But he can go infield here. Fall in a collision with Gay that has the crowd whistling for a penalty, but the referee didn't reach for his whistle. Certainly worth a second look. Gay, the number 9, and there was some contact, but I think Ivanauskas had given the ball up, pushed it too far ahead. Going in strongly, and no quarter being asked or given in the battle, particularly in midfield. Moch with the throw, who's only just got a place in the side, played in the quarter-final. Alexander Moch, the number 12. Ivanauskas. Spain, you can see, getting back in such numbers, really forming a solid wall on the edge of their penalty area. Moch, Chedia, and it's clearly going to be a test for the Soviet Union to probe away, perhaps not be too impatient. That's rather slice clearance from Mendiondo, just as composed on Spain's bench, the Spanish coach Jose Pereira. Thu gets a fist to it by Goicoechea. Spain can regroup again. This is developing into the pattern. Chedia's long pass. Ivanauskas was caught a boot in the face by Ferreira, and the yellow card here will mean suspension from the final. If Spain get there, he'll certainly miss the next game, because they will play in the third and fourth playoff if they're beaten in this one. kick quickly taken by Kudojilov. Here he is again. Lunthu is being protected by some disciplined defending. Kudojilov. And again, 7-8 players back. Moch with the throw. Fernando taking it away from Skliarov. Tartachuk sliding in, then Moch. Koikochea standing his ground. Player with something of a fearsome name. His namesake with Bilbao. A Spanish defender who has a reputation for, shall we say, robust play. Goikochea here is a small, manoeuvrable forward. He's done well. Again, not in the original selection for the opening game. Fernando with Spain's free kick. Lizarralde. Were expecting a rip-roaring start from the Soviet Union. They did get it, but it's rather petered out, and one must pay credit to Spain for that. They've taken some of the wind out of the Soviet sails through working hard, particularly when the opposition have the ball. They force another mistake then. As though Lunthu was going to be faced by a barrage of shots. He's had a reasonably quiet spell. Mendiondo beaten by the speed of Tartachuk. And on he goes. Kushlev. Tentative strapping around the left knee. Nicely played by Medved. Now, what's the referee going to do this time? It is a penalty. Tripped by Pardo. Penalty for the Soviet Union. And this is how it happened. Medved with one of those sharp turns of his, and the referee absolutely right. Pardo certainly played the man. Medved staying off the pitch as Kudojilov has the opportunity here to put the Soviet Union one step towards a place in the final. They lead 1-0. 7 minutes before half-time. And Kudojilov, quite a nerve-wracking moment for a young player, this. So much resting on it, and it was above the goalkeeper's dive. Although Lunthu committed himself the right way. Well, the Spanish resistance has been broken. Tirado across to deny the goal scorer. Kudojilov, opportunity of perhaps setting up a second. Medved still in need of treatment. He watches, looked up as Lunthu gratefully clasped the ball. Tartachuk. That's obstruction by Mendiondo. Medved makes his way back on. The Soviet Union have their full complement. And Moch who's actually cracked away at goal a couple of times in earlier matches from set pieces on his stronger left foot. Koikocea, throw to the Soviet Union inside the final minute of the first half. So far so good for the home players. Chedia. Och. Now Skliarov. Spain will clearly have to show a little bit more attacking ambition in the second half. And it's only the stretch by Ferreira at the cost of a corner that stops the Soviet Union from finishing the first half with a swagger. They've still got the opportunity, of course, if they can take the corner quickly. Fu in the right place. Ivanauskas came in strongly. As the half-time whistle goes, 1-0 to the Soviet Union. The penalty from Kudoshilov after 38 minutes.
Oh, hello, Eurocharters. This Sunday in the Eurochart Top 50 show, you will see Nino's unknown acting talent.
Brilliant, I'm brilliant.
Unbelievable.
I'm fantastic.
Really. I never knew that,
And you
Nino.
won't see anything from Linda.
Well, you will actually. Yes, we have 2 live acts as well.
Oh, really?
Kira Joling and the original Talkatives. Great fun.
As I was saying, it's this Sunday, 5:30.
Right.
And
On Sky
Eurochart
Channel.
On Sky Channel.
In a new action-packed series for the autumn on Sky, Henry Fonda is Chief Marshal Simon Pratt.
I'm asking you to be the man your mother thinks you are.
The Pioneer West is a lawless West, and the faces on the wanted posters are familiar. Faces such as James Franciscus, Lee Van Cleef, and James Coburn. Henry Fonda is the Marshal, and Alan Case is Clay McCord, the Deputy. Western action, Tuesday night at 9:50 on Sky Channel.
Soviet Union about to get the second half underway, leading by 1-0. Perhaps hoping that they might have a little bit more room in which to manoeuvre in the second half, because Spain clearly have to be more ambitious. They have to take a chance or two. That will surely weaken the defending that has been so persistent in the first 45 minutes. No substitutions at the interval. Oh, the goalkeeper's lost it. Kudoshilov. And off the line by Tirado. It looked such an innocuous moment, and suddenly it could have been a catastrophe for Spain. Really of the goalkeeper's making. They'll have a free kick now, foul by Moch on Goikochea. But at the other end, Unthu's heart must be beating a little faster. Kudoshilov just played it in, and the distraction was from Tartachuk. The goalkeeper took his eye off the ball, Kudoshilov followed it in, and it could so easily have been 2. Number 11 for Spain is Nain. And the player called off is Juanma. Pardo. Here's Fernando. Spain have passed the ball well in their previous games. They're neat and play a close game. Here's Pardo. Advantage played by the referee. And Losada. Within the goalkeeper's reach, they wanted offside. Spain, though, will draw a little bit more comfort from this. They've not opened the Russian defenders up very often. Sada, it was an awkward one for him, came on the bounce. Rolandas Bubliauskas doing up the tie-ups and getting ready to come on. Tatarchuk tangling with Lietheralda. Decision quite appreciated by the Soviet coaching team, who want to get Bubliauskas on. 22 minutes left, and Kushlev, as we looked at the substitute, suddenly tempers flaring up on the field. Fernando is down. This is what happened. Chased by Tatarchuk, and then all sorts of bad temper boiled over. Real skirmish. Yellow card produced. Now, it could be more serious. It's a yellow card for Medved. I think Tatarchuk in trouble as well. His sliding challenge. Substitution still hasn't taken place. I was about to say that Kushlev is the player they want off. Obviously not quite 100% fit. And fresh legs required from Rolandas Bubliauskas. And suddenly players are going around with a bit of red mist in their eyes, and the ball becoming a bit secondary.
Number 15 will be playing.
Get. Well, Medved got himself into trouble. Tatarchuk, perhaps we could give him the benefit of the doubt and say, although it was a reckless challenge, that the motive was a laudable one to try and win the ball back for his side. The Soviet Union lead by the 38th minute penalty from Kudoshilov. Pardo to take the throw for Spain. And again. It's keeping everyone's interest, the semi-final, which was expected really to suit the Soviet Union. Pardo's cross. Oh, the goalkeeper's lost it! A goal for Spain from Losada, and an absolute gift. And it's greeted by whistling and derision for that mistake there by Igor Kutepov. And Losada could hardly believe his luck. And Spain could hardly believe their luck. But they're level. Away by Lietheralda. Extra time, of course, if it stays that way. But poor Igor Kutepov, the hero of the quarter-final, with a last-minute save of real agility, is suddenly the villain of the piece, and Unthu showing again what a precipice it is for goalkeepers. But suddenly, on the Spanish bench, they sense an opportunity. Goicoechea. Well struck. Kutepov. The equal to it. Check nicely onto the left foot. Plenty of power in the shot. Plenty of direction, too. Trying to change the pattern, trying to prevent the game going into extra time. Blocking unfairly by Mendiondo. Through tenterhooks. The Soviet Union pegged back through an individual error. Desperate here to reclaim their lead. And Unfu in trouble. It came off the bar before Bubliauskas could turn it in. And finally the shot goes wide from Gorilyi. But Unfu looks skyward. But the gods were on his side then. Really, he should have just knocked it over the bar for the corner. But he knocked it onto the bar. Then flapped at it and again, and Bubliauskas, moving in for the kill, was beaten to it by Gay. It's extra time. Spain have clawed their way back into the semi-final. Losada's equaliser, and now an extra 15 minutes each way.
November 1978, Jonestown, Guyana.
I don't care how many screams you hear, I don't care how many cries of anguish. Death is 1,000,000 times preferable than 10 more days in this life.
Jim Jones said die, and 1,000 men, women and children, willing and unwilling, left this world for the man they thought was God. The story that stunned the world. The Guyana Tragedy. Part 1. Sunday on Sky Channel at 10 o'clock.
Every Tuesday and Thursday on Sky, meet the people whose lives revolve around a country practice.
doctor, you know.
I promise I won't tell anyone.
Their loves. Their dramas.
Mr. Harris, here are the keys to the cupboard.
Their warmth.
Alakazoo.
Their wisdom.
It's in the tea leaves, Doctor. The tea leaves never lie.
Keep your regular appointment every Tuesday and Thursday for the award-winning series, A Country Practice.
The semi-final of the World Youth Championship for the FIFA Coca-Cola Cup, and we've gone into extra time here in the Lenin Stadium. Spain won, the Soviet Union won, and the referee has noted that the Russians have brought on a second substitute for the half an hour that remains. It's Sergei Savchenko wearing number 9. Of course, everybody who's captivated here in the stadium realizes that if it stays this way, we will have the drama of a penalty shootout. Unfu. With clearance that's aimed for Spain's goal scorer, Losada. Here's Tadarchuk. Flicked on by Bubliauskas, Ivanauskas arriving with Savchenko as well. Medved making progress down the left again for the Soviet Union. Well, there's no one making for the exits here. Giving a marvellous account of themselves. Very much the underdogs. The sense of competition spilling over again. Another yellow card. Budoshilov for a high tackle. So So he has experienced the ups and downs in the course of one football match. The scorer of a goal, now the recipient of a caution, and Fernando rather gingerly back on his feet again. Tirado with the free kick. Goicoechea. He telegraphed his intentions, Moch, and now Francis with a little show of temper, a bit of retaliation. Moch with the throw. Gorilli. For senior players finding themselves in a situation like this, the task of keeping composed would be very difficult. And for youngsters who really are exploring new territory at this level, the discipline is always likely to go. The organisation of the team depends on real maturity. Only certain natural leaders will perhaps be able to keep their sides going. Very important for the two captains, Chedia and Fernando. Bubliauskas striking off Mendiondo, looking to take on Ferreira. Help from Ivanauskas. Savchenko, Bubliauskas on the burst. Poured away by Unthu, good save. The goalkeeper came up with the right answer that time, as Bubliauskas was pouring away through. And all the Soviet Union get is a corner. Bubliauskas again. And then Moch, as we come towards half-time, in extra time. It's still 1-1. And there indeed is the half-time whistle. And that save from Unthu, the significant moment in the first period of extra time. The coaches having their say. The actual laws of the game state that it should be straight round in the middle of extra time. In practice, that rarely happens. And it's a matter of applying the spirit rather than the letter of the law in this occasion. So we're ready for the last 15 minutes. And if the score stays the same, it will then be penalties. Kudogilov, whose own penalty must seem a long time ago now. And it's possible, of course, he'll be asked to do it again. And Medved, a real chance for the Soviet Union, and Medved hasn't been able to take it. And the referee intervened. Spain have got enough problems at the moment. Savchenko. He's got his eyes set on the goal. And Spain couldn't do anything to prevent the shot. But Unthu was left exposed a moment or two earlier. And Medved will look back on this with some regret. The first touch there wasn't really clean, but even then he slipped at the vital moment, and Tirado got back and got in the way. Gorilli. Past Pardo, and a good deep cross too. But Ivanauskas, and he scored! The Soviet Union have gone into the lead. Into the second period of extra time, and Medved, this time, joy for him because it was his deep cross. Ivanauskas, perhaps just looking to get it back across the face of the goal, but it was back across the goalkeeper and inside the post. Villers was going in case the ball was knocked back towards him. That may have been in even Asgas's mind, but it matters not because the Soviet Union are in front again. And they now need only to settle things down and let the time take care of itself. And the whistles of the crowd have turned to cheers of celebration. They're not used to being beaten on home territory, Russian teams. And that certainly looked a possibility at 1-1. It's looking much brighter now for the host nation. Tarachuk. And Medved, in too much of a hurry, he slipped again. Well, what can Spain do in terms of a response now? They've got to drag tiring legs forward. They've got to mentally cope with the blow of losing that second goal. Francis. Pardo. And Kudapov, I think he found it coming a little quicker to him than he imagined. He came out as though he was going to catch it. Suddenly, it went one-handed, a fist away. Goicoechea. Spain pressing on now. Kolotovkin tangling with Goicoechea. Ferreira, and that was very late indeed. Bubliauskas. The stakes are high, but that was sheer brutality. And Spain have a free kick. And that's the scoreline that is so desperate for them. Pardo settles for the throw. Geng did well. And Francis! It was almost as if they were trying to walk it in, and it never quite fell right for either player. Gay did so well to pick a route to the byline for the cross. Down from Francis, back from Fernando, and then Francis conjuring up an overhead kick. And it's just belted forward by Chedia. The Soviet Union crowd quite happy if the ball's in the Spanish half, but it's not now. And here's Pardo. He's already scored a goal in this competition, and well, it looked to me as though, if not a punch, some sort of jab was aimed at Medved, who has fallen theatrically a couple of times before tonight. Maybe that's counted against him, but for my money, Pardo very lucky not to have severe action taken against him. Spain denied again. Fernando coming in beyond the far post. Kudapov made sure there was no space. Fernando from a very tight angle. And the crowd urging the Soviet Union to continue to attack. A third goal, of course, would make it absolutely safe. Goicoechea got a bang in the back. Medved, it's hard to assess the damage to him. And Ferreira saying, just get off the pitch and let us try and get this equaliser. Players down, and fists and arms raised, and the referee needs to stand firm now. This could have an unsavoury ending. And wherever the referee turns, after fighting, is breaking out, and it will be hard to apportion blame. Medved with both substitutes on for the Soviet Union. Will have to soldier on. And it's a matter really of keeping the ball. Chedian. And the countdown really has begun. Savchenko. Just 5 minutes remain. The Soviet Union leads Spain 2-1. And a place in the final of the World Youth Championship is there for the taking.
After the game, in the press center, there will be
Goikochea. Medved has hardly got the strength to play it forward. And apart from the dire position that Spain find themselves in, they've given absolutely everything here. Whether they've got the energy to muster any more meaningful attacks, only time will tell, and there isn't much of that time left. But they're forward in numbers again, and the goalkeeper had to play safe. Kudapov did exactly the right thing. No time for heroics or misjudgment. Sensibly was not distracted by Francis coming in. Goikochea to take the corner. Blocked by Medved. The whistle has gone. And Goikochea thinks it's handball by Medved. The linesman tells him he's wrong, and it's a corner to be taken again. Medved wasn't back the full distance. The Soviet Union had to scramble it clear. Litharalde. Tatachuk still full of running. And now Savchenko gives away the free kick. There's no hand of friendship from Pardo. Less than 3 minutes remain. This time, Kudapov doesn't get there. And he's scrambling to try and regain his position, and eventually it may well have been the goalkeeper who blocked the shot of Ferreira, but the whistle has gone in any case for some pushing. Well, goalkeepers do, of course, mature much later in life than outfield players, and it's quite understandable that these two young keepers here should have moments that betray their lack of experience. But it was a foul by Losada jumping in. Just a matter of retaining possession for the Soviet Union. Gorilyi across for Moch. Goikochea chasing to close him down. Savchenko. Another free kick against Spain. Mendiondo, danger of getting into trouble. We're into the time that the referee wants to add on for stoppages. Spain 2-1 down and still battling to stay alive. Here's Gay. And it's Goikochea, he scored! In stoppage time at the end of extra time. Incredible! The Spaniards going crazy with delight. I'm sure it was an attempt at a shot from Gay, and it was a perfect pass for Goikochea. But how about this for a composed piece of finishing at the end of 2 hours of pulsating football? And it's penalties. The final whistle has gone. No time to restart. The last kick of the semi-final. And Goikochea has pulled Spain back from the dead. And look again. again at this quite astonishing moment. First to go, Spain to take on Kutupov. And it's going to be Francis, a substitute who came on towards the end of normal time, with the crowd rather baying at him and trying to distract the young Spaniard. But he beats the distraction and he beats the goalkeeper. 1-0 to Spain. 5 each, of course, and then it goes on into sudden death if the scores are still level then. And Spain have scored. Medved is saved by Unthu. Greeted by disbelief from the crowd, and Medved, who has had a night filled with drama so far. Well, the goalkeepers will always move in these penalty shootouts, but it wasn't a very good penalty in truth, and he knows it. But what a nerve-rending situation this is for any player, let alone the boys in the under-19 competition. And Tirado, and he's been thwarted by Kutupov. So each goalkeeper now has made a save, and suddenly for Medved, life becomes bearable again. But for Tirado, another moment of agony. Too close to the goalkeeper. It's still 1-0 in penalties after the 2-2 draw in the actual match. Khudoshilov, who scored one penalty in the game itself and scores again, although Unthu was so close to keeping it out. Khudoshilov, the same side as his success in the game. But it's 1-1. And still nothing between these two sides. So Pardo. And he sent the goalkeeper the wrong way. A very good penalty indeed. Spain in front again. What a test of temperament. There will be those, believe it or not, who will relish this challenge, and Pardo looks like one of those. It was a very confident penalty indeed. So, Unthu in the firing line again, and it's Ivanauskas. And he sends Unthu the wrong way in turn. And it's all back level again. And we're still no nearer knowing who will play in the final of the World Youth Championship. But we will know in the next few minutes or so, that's for sure. Well, Ge has had a magnificent match. But that would count for naught if he was to miss now. That's the pressure on him. And it's under the goalkeeper. Kutupov, so close again to making the save. This angle should give us a better view of it. It just squirmed past him. Fortune favoured Ge then, but it's 3-2 to Spain. And the defender Mock has been called forward. Now, he's got quite a kick in his left foot. And it's cleverly done. So the Soviet Union have equalised once more. And Mock outwitting Unthu. To go for Spain it rests on the captain's shoulders. Fernando. Waits for the signal from the referee, and into the top corner. No real chance for Kutupov then. And Spain have kept their composure. They've managed to stay ahead throughout this penalty shootout. Could hardly have been better placed from Fernando, way above the reach of Kutupov. And now, as Unthu goes through this ritual that he's adopted over the last 2 or 3 penalties of initially turning to face the crowd through the net, it's Tatarchuk. He saved it! Spain are through! And Unthu is off on a run of triumph. The goalkeeper has put his country into the final of the World Youth Championship, and Tatarchuk has to live with the agony of knowing that his failure cost the Soviet Union.
Well, your heart goes out to Vladimir Tatarchuk, but it was surely not that final penalty miss that will haunt the Soviet